Hello Norbert and Marius, and welcome to the podcast of the 34th EBS Symposium. The EBS Symposium is one of Europe's largest and most prestigious student-run business conferences. Over the course of 2 days, the EBS Symposium addresses current topics that are relevant to business and politics. In this podcast, we aim to give a preview to some of our speakers and their companies to get an idea of what to expect at this symposium. My name is Benjamin Hüttermann, and I'm your host for this podcast. I'm a third semester bachelor student at EBS and one of the heads of marketing at this symposium. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you as my guest today. Although we had already the chance to get to know each other a little, maybe you can introduce yourselves again for the audience.
As I'm the oldest, I will start.
Yes.
Norbert Heckmann, 56 years old, married, 3 kids. With the company Würth since 1992, so 31 years. I'm chairman of the AWKG, Adolf Würth KG, which is the first and today biggest company within the Würth Group, located here in Künzelsau in the lovely Hohenlohe, Baden-Württemberg.
Thank you, Norbert. Then I'm the second one. My name is Marius Helmer. I'm 30 years old and I've been working for Würth since 2015. I joined the company as a corporate student. I'm not from Hohenlohe. I was born in Cologne and raised in the countryside in North Rhine-Westphalia. But however, this wonderful company got me to move southwards. After my studies in 2018, I graduated successfully and stayed with the company, worked for 3 years as an assistant to the central managing board. And since last year, I have the honor or the opportunity to, I always say, build bridges between universities, students, and Würth to attract students and graduates for the wonderful challenges here at Würth.
Thank you very much. I think most of us have seen the Würth logo somewhere. Norbert, could you give us an insight into what is behind that logo?
Well, the logo can be seen at football matches, at ski events, and in more than 600 places around Germany. Actually, it considers from 2 screws. The origin in 1945 was that Adolf Würth, the father of Reinhold Würth, created just after Second World War wholesaling company for screws, and that's where we are coming from. That's where the logo is coming from.
It's very interesting. So you said where the company is coming from. What would you say is right now the USP of Würth? Are these the services or the product?
I would say neither nor. It's our company culture. So everybody who knows us knows that this very intense way of interacting with customers, with employees, with our surrounding is what makes us unique. But coming from your side, when you talk products or services, I would say 30 years ago this company were more or less a product selling company. We changed last 15 years into a service and support company to our customers to find solution. And since a few years we are, because of the situation in the markets of mid-size companies and craftsmen, we try to support our customers to develop their business model further, as they have huge difficulties to find the right people with the right qualifications.
Would you say there was a certain event in the past that made you change? So you could say 10 years past, there was someday I knew we would have to change something, or was it like a development over time?
Well, I'm knowing Würth from 30 years. I know that it's part of our DNA that constant change is happening all the time. I would say every 5 years we renew ourselves. Therefore, you need a lot of fancy ideas coming from those the close contacts to our customers, because our customer develops, and as they develop, we need to change to adapt to the needs and that they ask us to provide.
So you said that the company is changing always, as we all know. So another topic that's changing a lot is how to get the interest of young people. Marius, could you give us an insight of what's sexy about Würth for young people, especially in terms of employer branding?
Yeah, let's talk about employer branding, and I would like to address these questions in two steps. First one is, of course, we have a lot to offer for our employees and those who like to join us. I mean, we are very flexible. We have trust-based working hours. You can work in the mobile office. You can go into the office. You can work part-time, full-time, back to part-time. We have the daycare center. We are operating kids camps like this week, right, Norbert? We have more than 100 kids currently in our own operating kids camp so that our fathers and mothers can focus on work, because this is the first week of summer vacations in Baden-Württemberg. You can go for a sabbatical. The second one is, of course, culture, as Norbert already mentioned, plays a big role, or is a huge part of Würth. And well, there are different things. We have in every summer there's a Würth Open Air. We are very big into partying our jubilees, like last year when Helene Fischer only came to give us, the employees and their partners, exclusive concert. You can join our Würth chorus or play in our big band. So there's a lot talking about compensation and benefits. There's a performance-based salary system, especially in our sales force. There are different bonuses from operating result to sales result, vacation and summer bonuses. You can choose from over 600 brands in our corporate benefits system and so on. You can lease a bike. I can go even further, but let me tell you about what really matters to me. What really matters to me, and this is the second part of my answer, is that Würth is a growing company. And when you are especially graduating from university or looking for an apprenticeship, I think you should choose a growing environment, because in a growing environment, there's always room for personal development. And this is what really differentiates Würth from other competitors in the market and other employers. There are so many young managers in my age or managers in the organization that got the responsibility at a young age. It's very, very common for Würth. And so there's room for your own development. And talking about change, there's a lot we are working on right now. We are working on sustainability and circularity. We are working on making omni-channel sales possible, platform economy, and we are right in the transition from being a simple trades company, what you outlined before, to becoming a manufacturer. And yeah, in this company, you can play a vital role and take over responsibility. And this is what makes Würth sexy for me.
It's very, very great to hear. So you said Würth is a young and, as I hear, a very dynamic company. Norbert, could you explain to us, how is your personal management style? Even if Würth is a young and dynamic company, it's also a very traditional company. How do you manage to get these two factors and manage a company like that?
I would say I am a typical manager at Würth. I started my career after my studies in this company. So Würth was my first love, and it will be also my last. Short reminder to John Miles and music, if you know the phrases there. Therefore, a lot of us have a bunch of friends here within the company, and Würth for us is family. So management style, not to put this right, I would say that we are born in this company, and a lot of our colleagues work here for 30, 40, 50 years. As we are a fast-growing company, we have a lot of young people, so there's a good mixture within the organization. If you talk about style, management style, I would point one thing out. We allow all our colleagues, and Marius just mentioned it, to take over a lot of responsibility. We like to create things. We like to have new ideas. We like to look outside the box, think outside the box, and then we allow mistakes. But everyone can do a mistake only once, but you can learn also from your mistakes. And it's sometimes I compare it with making Pfannkuchen in English is
pancakes.
Pancakes, yeah. So everyone who makes pancakes knows the first pancake. No matter what you do, doesn't work right. It's crumbled and doesn't work. But if you don't do this first pancake, the second and the third one cannot become perfect. So we attract young employees, people to take over responsibility, to use these flat hierarchies and communicate very fast and be fast, to reach new ideas, especially for our customers. And therefore, we get enthusiastic colleagues here to do things, to try out things, and to be a little bit faster than our competition in the market. And that's what we as management would like to promote, would like to ask for. The rest, the performance, is then the result of this way of working.
Would you say it was always like that, or did it change under your management style?
When you there is a graph in our company presentation that Mr. Reinhold Würth likes the most. When he clicks it, the bars of sales development, they are rising with one or two little drops and rising up. So he says, this is my most enjoyable graph within the Würth group. So he was the one, Reinhold Würth was the one who took over responsibility in 1954 and with 2 employees. And then after 8 years of within Würth, when he took over from his father, who died in a very young age, he already stepped towards Netherlands in 62, towards Switzerland, and towards Italy in 1 year, giving young, talented people in these 3 countries the opportunity to more or less copy the success of Würth in Germany. So the original idea, giving out a lot of responsibility, taking the chance to develop company as well as myself. This is in the DNA of the company laid or created by Reinhold Würth in very, very early days.
It's interesting to hear, especially if you have a look at the economy right now. I think there are some changes, and we have to adapt to these. Especially one topic that comes always to mind if we think about changes in the economy is the topic new work. Marius, could you give us an insight from your perspective? How does the topic new work look like at Würth? You just said it is dynamic and you adapt to the changes. But are there other aspects that changed under that topic?
Yes, indeed. And I'm very happy to outline that. First of all, it's very important to us to state that new work is not a project to us where we are working on for a year or two, ticking off boxes, and then put it back into your office, store it anywhere, and hopes that no one ever goes there again and pulls it out. So it's really important to us. We are serious about it. And this is why we generated, let's call it strategy map, where we work on basically 6 different goals. And let me outline it briefly. Basically, we are working on workstations that inspire us. For example, as we have the privilege to grow, we just opened our new innovation center, Reinhold Würth Innovationszentrum, here in Künzelsau in Geisbach, which gives our especially R&D colleagues and product management quality colleagues the opportunity to work closer together and to give them the opportunity for more networking and for more transparency, which supports us in our cross-functional approach. Second one is we are working on working models that fit to our lives. So we already talked about the flexibility and how to balance work and life and family. Third project we are working on is digital tools that connect us and make work easier and faster. Fourth one is that we are talking about benefits that are tailored to us. Fifth one is methods that support us in learning and agile working. And I think especially the sixth one is the most important one. It's about leadership. Leadership that inspires us and that empowers the employees.
I mean, it's important. I think it's very inspiring to hear, especially in the times of change, how you adapt to these changes. In times of change, mastering the future is the slogan of this symposium this year. And as we know, and as we also said, the times of change are relevant to us. They are a very, very actual topic. How would you say your company had to adapt in the, let's say, last 10 years, having in mind topics like COVID or right now the war in the Ukraine? How would you say your company had to adapt?
First remark, as I said, this company doesn't need changes from the outside as a trigger to develop new things. This change every 5 years, it's part of our company culture. At the same time, when we look back the last 5 years or the last 10, 15 years, we set a goal to say in the future, specialists and innovative manufacturers play a more significant role in business community. Therefore, coming from our very early ages as a screw wholesaler with sales force, outside sales force, from these early days, the screw itself is only 12% of our sales today. The wholesaler became a manufacturer. More than 63% of our yearly turnover are created in our own productions. And last but not least, this sales-driven company from 30, 40 years ago, outside sales-driven company, moved into an omni-channel organization where stationary sales, where e-business sales, where internal and external outside sales is merging and working together. These were the way to the benefit from wholesaler to manufacturer, and the way from outside sales to omnichannel are probably the most significant changes over the last 10, 12, 15 years that we more or less highlighted. The one question is, how do we create those kind of master strategies? As when Corona was over last year in May, we decided that all 55 members of the first and second level of management in our company need to go out every month, 2 to 3 days, talking to customers. And we collect all these kind of information, what happened after the Ukraine war, what happened after Corona, what happened after all those difficult years to our customers, and how do we need to adapt in the next 5 years in order to enthusiast our customers also in the future. So that's the kind of drive, the kind of way we are going to adapt us to the changing requirements of our customers, not only today but also in the future.
I think it's interesting to understand how such a big company as Würth is adapting to these changes. And I think also that the idea of analyzing the past and to see what did we right or did we wrong, what could be improved, especially for the future, is very important and can be also translated to other situations. I mean, if I have a look at myself or my friends in university, there's always the point after an exam where everybody's like, what was good, what was bad, what could be improved. To come to an end, do you have something you would, if you imagine you being in your 20s, going to going to university, being a student, do you have like 1, 2, or maybe 3 things you would recommend yourself?
Yeah, one thing that I experienced haven't changed over all the years. I'm now seeing new enthusiastic students coming to work for us. Success is and will be 80% transpiration and 20% inspiration. So you have to work if you want to be successful. That's number one. Not only having great ideas. Yeah? And the second I would point out, which I always tell new upcoming colleagues, always try to know where your existing comfort zone is and go over the edges. Try to find out whether you reached your comfort zone, or if you cross it, maybe there are some very positively surprising things waiting for you. So the comfort zone is, at least for young people, you have always to be open-minded to allow yourself to squeeze your comfort zone to the next level. And with these 2 phrases in mind, I'm sure not only on your ongoing studies, but also afterwards, it's a great opportunity to go along.
Yeah, and if I would answer the question, I mean, it's always funny. I mean, I just turned 30 years ago, like a month, and giving advice to my 20 years me feels still a little bit strange, and maybe a question that you would answer when you're a little bit older. But yeah, when I look back, I would say first one is be patient, because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Second one would be live the moment, because there's more in life than grades and work. There's also family and friends. And the third one would be aim high, move fast, and have fun, because most of your life you will spend at work. So you have to find your theme, your project, your subject, your spot and place where you can realize yourself, and then it will be great.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear that, because from our perspective, it's so inspiring to hear such advices from the other side, let's say. I mean, you're there where we want to be, and yeah, I think it's very, very great for us to get an insight into that. Thank you very much for your time and for giving us an insight into these diverse topics. It was a pleasure to have you both here. And now we're even more looking forward to seeing you at the symposium in the RMCC in Wiesbaden this year, not on the campus, in September. Yeah. Thank you a lot, Norbert and Marius.
Thanks to you, and good luck. See you in September.
Thank you, Benjamin. See you in September in Wiesbaden.